Guys, so today we have a master built digital smokehouse electric smoker that I think has a heating element out. We were smoking a pork butt the other day and it was going overnight, and we came out in the morning and it was only up to I think like 150 degrees and it was set at 250 degrees. So I just want to kind of show you the diagnosing process of how we figure out what's wrong, and hopefully we get to fix this thing and you guys can be along for the ride. So I got it heated up. I told it to go to 250 degrees. Right now it's at 34. It just started, so we'll give it some time and then maybe we can diagnose it together. So it's been a little bit and it hasn't been warming up yet. It looks like this is the heating element here, and it's not hot at all. You see it goes out the back, out that direction. I don't know if you can see that or not. But when I tell it to heat, you can hear a relay or a contact start. But these heating elements aren't getting warm at all, so let's open up the back and see what we can find. So the back of this thing has got rivets on it. It's easier to manufacture that way, I guess, than put in screws, but I think that's where we need to get into, is in the back. So we'll see if we can pull these off with a pliers, or if not, we'll get a grinding disc and grind them off, and if we do have to put it back on, we'll use some sheet metal screws. So let's do that. So if they don't unscrew with a flat or with a Phillips, watch out, Max, I'll show you. What we're going to do is just go along. Pry these rivets out like that. I think he's got the hang of it already. So we'll pop that back off that way and see what's underneath. So this is the back with the cover removed. See, our power comes in here. Your greens, your grounds. Looks like these two small white wires go up to, that's probably a thermostat or a thermocouple that turns on your heating element on and off to whatever you set it to. But it looks like the hots come out of the faucets down in the bottom down there, and that's where I hear either the relay or the contact click when you turn it on. So let's flip this thing over and see if we can get access to that. Okay, so we got it up on the bench here. Lo and behold, more pop rivets. We got our incoming power coming in here. And then that goes to this guy, which is, that's a relay. Switches on and then that sends power out to the heating element, must be. This guy down here looks like it's a transformer that probably knocks down that 120 coming in from the plug to feed the control power. So what we can do is plug it in and tell it to heat and see if this relay clicks, which I can hear it click audibly, but we can test this output now and see if we got power coming out. So let's try that. So I got my meter set on AC volts, alternating current, which is what this runs on in your wall plug. I got one lead stuck on ground. This whole frame is grounded. Now I took the lead off of this guy, so that's incoming power here. And then I told this thing to heat. So we are getting 120 volts through the relay, so that's working the way it should. So here's the thing. Now we've tested everything that we could find in here. There's just a relay which we could test transformer we know is working because the display is on and running. That's what's using that. I think it drops it down to like 12 volts or whatever. So everything else is potted in with this. It's not even hard potting, it's like soft, maybe it's a high temperature type potting, and that just protects all those little elements from moisture, but doesn't let us see if anything blew up in there. So the only thing we can do is go back up on top here and see if there's an inline fuse or a bad connection, and then it goes in the trash. So we pried away some insulation here to get to this back box, and lo and behold, look at that connection. That was supposed to be together at one time. I don't know if it was got a little loose and got real hot and melted apart or what. So I mean, we can try to clean that up and get it reconnected. Maybe we'll try to do that and see if it heats up. So we got the old wire connection off, and this is where it landed here. Again, maybe we clean that up and solder that on, maybe put some shrink tape on this to put over top of there before we're all done, and see how that goes. So I soldered it back on there. Probably didn't have that tab cleaned up enough because it was, you can tell by all the little bubbles there that it did not solder very well. So I'll probably just wrap this with some splice tape and we'll go from there. So we wrapped that connection up with tape after we soldered it. Just push that bat on with a sheet metal screw, and now we'll fold this thing back up and we'll hit the power button and see if it runs. You think it'll work, bud?
Yeah.
All right. So we got it standing back up. Turn the heat on again. Let's see if this is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that heater's hot. So it seems like we got a fix. But then also, we got to button all this back up, which is fine, but how everything's made with pop rivets, we'll have to just sink that all back together with some sheet metal screws. So. You getting it?
Yeah.
You gotta push a little harder. Push and twist. So this thing lives to see another day. Looks like we're at 109 degrees now. We'll let it get all the way up to 250 degrees, but to me that's the easiest way to diagnose things, is to start from your incoming power and trace that and see where it stops, especially with powered things like this. Obviously, if it didn't have electricity, you wouldn't be tracing the power anywhere. So, but yeah, we had to button up the back a little bit. We just use sheet metal screws, every other hole there probably, and that's what's tough with rivets, is you could grind them out, but we ended up just prying this away and it worked just fine. So, thanks for watching.